who is now associating with you. And then he comes from a minority party in parliament, which sometimes is very difficult to appreciate. And let me tell you why. The Honorable Chairman Mao, very brilliant and very good friend of mine, has had a big challenge. You know, he has been seated on the side of government, and his party members have been seated opposite. and when he stands up and says, for example, you people in the opposition, and that is pointing to some of his party members. So it's a very difficult position he's in, actually, both legally and politically. So is he the sort of person you would want now to say, okay, now you're the speaker, irrespective of his party position? Two, I think parties now, even if it was in the national unity platform, would want to have what they call loyalty. So you people who are aspiring, my sister Lydia, the first thing will be loyalty to your own party. Who of these is more loyal to the party? That's the first, before you do anything beyond it. And what do you expect a speaker to deliver on? What is loyalty? What do you expect you as a ruling party, what do you expect your speaker to deliver on? Each and every position of the party must be delivered on. Now, who of you standing now can have I don't know how to put it. Who of you standing now can deliver each and every aspect of a party agenda? So don't lie to yourself. There's history to it, and everybody knows those who are moving around and so on. It will not be rhetoric that whoever talks well, and if it was so, there's one candidate would be most unopposed. But this has nothing to do, you know, when I was a Gidi president, you know, when I stood against Betty Gombe, there were very few people. Oh, please. It will not be that.
Dynamics are different.
The dynamics are different. People are going to be looking at us as a party who can deliver our agenda. And whoever of these can deliver the party agenda, and the chairman of their party is convinced, will be the next speaker, irrespective of other considerations. And even before I end there, I've been watching as a participant from 2001. In 2001, when you had just gone to Parliament, we had the crisis.
You have parliamentary association.
Yes, no, that had been in the 6th Parliament, but now we are talking about the 7th Parliament. The name of Benwacha was floated. Looking around, he was the best candidate. And he had the support of the biggest constituents. The biggest constituents at that time, biggest in terms of influence, the army representatives. All of them supported Benwacha. Now, when we went, and I was his agent. So first of all, we went for dinner in the State House in Nakasero. It ended at around 9:10. Then they said, now let's go and talk politics at the conference center. So from 10, I hope I'm not taking the Tavaro route. But so we went to the conference center.
We have consensus with my teacher.
When we reached the conference center, much as the army was clearly openly to Mukunde, Mayombo, everybody was openly campaigning for Benwacha. And everybody thought really he's the best suited. The Baganda and the Catholic ganged up, and they said they needed it. And people like Nankabiro and others, all of them fronted. No, I said the Baganda and Catholic, both of them. The Janet Mukwai, all of them said, no, Benwacha is good, but
the thing is ours.
The loyalty. And at that time, by the President Museveni, I need to give him credit. When he came, he didn't campaign for anybody. When he didn't, he was like, what do we do? The army were moving up and down. Then I saw the army members being summoned. At the conferences, there is a back room there. They summoned them and said, okay, now we have a crisis. There's this biggest conference, which is very royal, and it wants Edward II to Wanuka. So I think you better abandon this. Now, eventually they came, think of this, they came and agreed, and now kept quiet. Then the president said, yes, I know that's the name of Benny Watcher, because he saw Benny Watcher's name had really sold. Yes, he's a good man, he's a good lawyer, and so on. But there is this issue of loyalty. And, yes, and he says, we can give him something. That's when he offered the Ministry of, I think, State for Environment or Forest or something like that. Of course, which Ben outrightly rejected. And so we can give him something, but for this particular position, let us give somebody who is.
And hence. Right, Honorable Sekandi. Moses Biarwanga has reminded you that the fifth person was Kadaga.
Actually, it was. Rebecca Kadaga was the fifth person.
So, Joseph Ocheno, I don't know if you read, Fonopondo had a very scathing article, totally addressing Mao. And that article, it like in Uganda say, Yali Ali Dobuka. And I upgraded it. Yali didn't number.
No, I didn't, except that I saw it, so I didn't really go into the details.
I'll send it to you. It's worth a read.
Please, yes. I actually think I have
a higher level of insult. He really delved into Mao language.
I was.
How can you want reading be insults? Who wants to read insults?
Mao is very good with that.
Ofono insulted the late Semogeridi. And I was like,
okay, whom has the ever insulted?
That's a good question.
Salam Musumba. You remember the exchange at the conference center too?
It's very relative, very high level.
Actually, I think regardless, I did sort of honestly didn't expect that that would be the tone that my good brother Fono would take. Number two, I think where we are as a country, I'm not quite sure whether it's necessarily the most advised thing, really, for all of us, particularly those who continue in active polity. I think we need genuine moderation. And for people who are privileged like Lydia, going into the much more mainstream in terms of elective polity, I wish you well. And in the event that you became the speaker, I would like to see that you provide leadership so that languages that are unnecessary are sort of kept back. But that said, I am disappointed that you guys are confining this to 1991, 92, 93, 94, 95. No, I want us to context. Because then you risk limiting it to non-experience of NRM. No. This thing's not about UPC, NRM monolithic polity. But I think the point that Abdu has raised is one of those things that actually not particularly very commonly known in terms of the discussion that nearly led to Ben Watcher becoming speaker. The nearest to doing something constructive under NRM administration was bound to be advising Jacob Olanya as speaker, partly because I had the confidence that really had the take and I had a conversation with him. But number two, because I generally knew that we need a legislative assembly which is strong, which is organized, which is exemplary, one which people who follow Abdu and Lydia should look up to it as an institution and look up to representatives there as people who are really mentors.
In short, so, Mao.
The principle of this is this. That Parliament is too important. No, I'll not speak to individuals. Parliament is too important an institution to be localized to this. Genuinely, we need to know what it is as a legislative organ. We need to have real leaders. And that's why I believe that when looking at this, we need to be able to contextualize what has Anita done in the last 5 or so years? What was the performance of the persons before her? And I was trying to say that if you look at it and maybe pull it from independence, what is the role of Parliament? Really, I don't think this is election of a speaker should be a matter for caucuses. Caucuses should really be able to advise. In my opinion, like Abdu again is saying, Parliament is an assembly of, of people who are requiring a prefect. Granted, the biggest number would be the ruling political party, in this case, NRM. But really, if legislators are looking at somebody who's going to be the presiding officer, who's the enabler, who's the critic, somebody who's able to play politics crossbench, it doesn't matter whether or not they come from the ruling political party. But by and large, it would appear that people take interest. But when interests become like those that people talk say candy, so I want a Catholic rather than somebody who's actually going to be a genuine presiding officer to balance the process. Part of where I don't slightly disagree with Abdu is that the party agenda, whereas it's obviously understandable, we need a solid person to manage big legislative programs. But the work of the speaker should really not be pushing a party agenda. That should be the job of the chief whip. In any case, actually, in a normal democracy and the future democracy in which UPC is actually the helm, we would really want to make sure that the speaker, if the UPC speaker, you don't see a UPC speaker being partisan, going to bottle up with people around Makerere, around particular corner of Ntungamo, candidate A, B, C, candidate A. No, that is ideally something which is too big for them. And for that reason, it should be, even if it's from a governing political party, it should be somebody who's much more moderate, much more deep, much more fair, and much more specific and detailed. This occasion, whatever happens...
Like Lydia.
Someone like Lydia, and Lydia will do a fantastic job.
Let's go to Benjamin.
Sharaini in Morocco. In fact, because you yes, and I want to start by withdrawing my endorsement of Lydia, because of Morocco. But that is besides the...
Benjamin is on microphone.
That is besides the...
Yeah. Gone?
Yeah.
Benjamin gone.
Because Mbale are listening and they're down to...
No, you didn't go to Morocco because of Mbale people. You went to Morocco because of Museveni, and you have mentioned it here. So don't hide behind Mbale people. It is a shrine in that context. But that is besides the point. I think the architecture of our constitution intended to create the checks and balances through institutions like Parliament. But over time, I think that has largely been lost, in a sense that the institution of Parliament looks, especially the leadership, they look at, for example, presiding over Parliament as a deployment, not just from NRM, but from Museveni. That's why when they are going to seek the chances of winning, and we have been here advising Lydia that instead of going to meet leaders, you should go and meet Salim Saleh and go and meet the leader of PLU, all of whom come. No, the leader of PLU, the supreme chairman of PLU is Mao'S, all of whom come from the same family.
Tabaro will call them elephants.
Yeah, Tabaro would call them elephants, but I choose to use their names. I'm sure they wouldn't be happy being referred to as elephants. Maybe as...
But go on.
I'll not go to that. So that itself shows you the orientation of the individuals that seek to be the presiding officers of the 12th Parliament. The Honorable Katunto and Wright said that parties look for loyalty. But I think while doing so, if we are intentional about building a democracy, of course we are not at the moment, especially the Edgar's party, you'd have a presiding officer who is loyal to the party, but has the presence of mind to know that while you preside over the house, you have a constitutional duty and mandate not to take partisan direction.
Some people would argue that Anita Among has done that.
How has she done so?
That she has been speaking to opposition members and so on.
She has been quarreling with opposition people both in house and outside house. I don't think that is conduct expected of a house speaker.
I think some of the opposition members have been accused because they have associated with her.
Yes.
Actually, many of
she has been involved in chicken fights both on the floor and outside with the
from being a very close associate of the Right Honorable Speaker.
On the last show,
that's what I hear.
About the same matter, Lydia challenged him to disclose his interest, but that's besides the point. So, the 12th Parliament, regardless of who is Speaker, is going to do Museveni's bidding. Whether it is Mao, whether it is Lydia, whether it is whoever.
And when has that been different?
Well, that is why under Museveni, yes. So because there has been a fusion, and it is not starting with the 12th Parliament. There has been a fusion of the state and the individual. That is why state institutions like Parliament look at themselves as, especially the leadership, they look at themselves as individuals that have been deployed to do work for Museveni, not for the people of Uganda. And that is not about change in the 12th Parliament.
It's on your microphone, so continue.
Yeah.
Yes,
no, because you are heckling, which is characteristic of NRM people and RDCs. So it is a combination of two problems. Yeah, so that's why I think even the debate about who becomes the speaker, who doesn't become, does not add much value to the political discourse in our country, because the institution, in any case, if Lydia here, in the unfortunate event that she becomes speaker, especially now that chooses to be on the side of the people, Museveni can easily have her impeached if he wants. So the parliament as an institution, I think, can play a very, very minimal role in the execution of its mandate of checks and balances, because it is squarely under captivity. And the debate of who becomes the speaker, who doesn't become the speaker, it is not of significant importance to the political discourse of our country.
Yeah. Thank you. We still have 5 minutes to the break. Fred Bamwine, the topic is still there. The debates are going, and Honorable Katontu, chairman of House Rules, has said we can continue.
But even here, what we are doing now is campaigning.
For who?
And raising candidates and saying who should be speaker, what
right. Okay.
It's campaigning itself.
For who? You campaign for who you want. Once
we mention the speaker should be of this caliber, you are helping the voter to look at the candidates available. But me, I don't like to pretend. The issue of the speaker, it is basically two things. One is political. Nobody should gloss about it. There has been a political contest. We have finished one layer of elections. We are now going to another layer of elections. So people are going to compete. And the ruling government, which won the election, it must do whatever it can, its means, to make sure that the coming speaker is that person who has the capacity to deliver the manifesto of that party. Politically, not about it. So, as far as I'm concerned, actually I sympathize with Mao. I saw him in TV the other day, and he was asking...
You sympathize with him?
Yes, because he was asking a question. People have been accusing me that I'm NRM. Now I hear NRM, they are not putting me on the short list. They say, but I represent this NRM in the international forums, signing agreements as NRM.
Vice chairperson of the Uganda Development Forum.
So he says, how can I be discriminated at this time? I need also to be on the short list. So I don't know whether you can campaign for a short list by now, or you should have done it before.
Who has created the short list?
Because the shortlist that is being mentioned.
Let him finish.
Lydia has told you she's a founder member of the party. Yes. Yes. 2005. She's a member. She's a founder member.
He has put it right. He has said Lydia has told you. So you can't dispute what Lydia has told you.
But even there's a book. There's a book for founder members. There's a book for founder members. She's among the. Then too.
Fred Bamwine, please go on.
Then too, in her narration, when she was going to declare, she went to the circles and Katana mentioned it as a shrine, but she went in the foundation of NRM as far as for NASA, where the President Museveni was supposed to be killed, where he lost his friends, Maruku. I don't know. The name may not be good, but Maruku contributed to NRM.
Go on, Mr. Bamwine, continue. We have 1 minute to the break.
Three.
Yeah.
We have already two people who are speakers, the speaker and the deputy speaker, who were endorsed by Sheikh last time. Then we have other people who have declared so. I've had Namuganza, I saw an MP from Aringa, but from Western, I think his constituencies. So others are coming. So as far as
others
I'm concerned,
are coming?
Yes.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, this is
as far as you're concerned,
this is NRM House.
Yeah.
And they are going to look at the NRM rules. What do they say? How flag bearers endorsed by SEC. And once SEC has sat and endorsed whoever is going to be endorsed, that will be the speaker and the deputy speaker. So my advice to.
But your advice to.
My advice to Lydia.
Advice to.
My advice to Lydia.
Your advice to Lydia, gone?
My advice to Lydia is to look at first of all, the party chairman has a key interest in this position because he's the leader of the party and he knows he wants to where the account is going.
Advice. You are advising and you have gone off.
Two, SEC members are there. Before you go even to the members who are going to vote for you, because whoever is not going to be endorsed by SEC as a flag bearer cannot win that position. It hasn't, but then we have history. We have history to talk about. Did she win?
No, she did.
You will come back to it. Break, jolly break as well. Honorable Katuntu is in the studio. Welcome once again to GAN.
Thanks.
There we were thinking the matter was done and dusted. SEC had spoken. But it does seem that this matter is not done and dusted. And in the break, I've learned that you are also Tabaro's teacher. So we have teachers all over here. And then I asked Lydia, who is she meeting? And she's saying she's going to follow the rules. So she will not meet the chairman. So she will not meet the chairman of PLU. She will not meet General SS. But she has met the people of Mbale. She has written to the chairman of her party. So the question you have is this question not done and dusted?
Well, thank you, Oscar, and I'm sorry I'm late. In politics, 1 day, 1 week is a very long time.
Right.
Anything can happen. But having said, I was listening to Lydia, and I've heard even the Honorable Chairman Mao say that, they're not supposed to campaign, and I'm like, which law is they reading? Rule 5, and by the way, I'm the boss of the rules.
Is a rules committee.
I have been for the last 5 years. Only applies to members of parliament. You cannot be a non-MP, and that rule applies to you. So, Lydia, stop parading that rule. You are not campaigning, be what, and so on. No, you are not a member. You're only a member after being sworn in.
Taking oath of office.
As it is now, you are not any different from Joseph Ochen.
No, she's an elect. Ocheno
Yeah,
is not.
but legally, that's where it ends.
Mm.
Legally. And some of them have not even been gazetted. Yes, and others are being gazetted. So it can only be effective rules of to apply to them when they have been sworn in.
Mm.
And the reason was that once you are members of parliament, then you conduct a business in a certain way. They are not bound by now. Now all of them can do anything. By the way, this thing, I'm not campaigning, but I'm writing so-and-so, I'm meeting so-and-so, I went to Maluku. That is purely campaigning. You're actually talking to people. And there's nothing wrong with it in my view. The country should be prepared for it because we know that we shall need a speaker. So we are going to talk about it. And those people who are, okay, they are prospective, like my sister Lydia here, have all the right to talk to everybody, to write people, to call MPs who are elected, and including those who are outgoing, because somehow they could advise them on how to go about getting into that office. So, yes, the campaign is okay until they have been sworn in. And once you are sworn in, please go by the rules. Having said that, Oscar, we go to who should be the speaker. I think it depends on who is answering that question. One, this process is going to be governed by the law, but by also the politics. The law in the sense that you need to qualify, and all MPs qualify, all of them, regardless of the parties, regardless even of the whether you came on affirmative action, youth, women, EDA, like of one point, all of them qualify, all members of parliament, except those who have been appointed as ministers and therefore they become ex-officio members of parliament. Those are the ones who are disqualified. But in any case, they become ex-officio members of parliament after the speaker has been elected and sworn in, because the one who presides over their approvals and so on through the appointments committee. So legally, all of them qualify. Now, after you've legally qualified, then what happens? The politics come in. What do the stakeholders think? For example, the ruling party, are they ready to front Mr. Katana as the party member, as a speaker? Those are the questions. Or do you float somebody